me tell you, this is messy. I mean, too messy for people who are really seriously considering being in a relationship together. A healthy one at that. Okay, so we pick up where we left off on episode 8, honey. Where David and Liz are together, and we know that David is about to get the hatch. It's time for him to go. It's time to go. Like, he really did a number on us in episode 8. Actually, he did a number on us in episode 7 too. Nevertheless, he gets there and it becomes very combative between him and Liz. And I thought to myself, well, nobody is communicating efficiently, effectively. Listen, my whole thing is, if you want to speak first, speak first. I mean, he literally knew that his time was up, and that is why he was acting an ass. I'ma act an ass. Like, that's not how the song go, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. And then he just blurts out, you know what, I self-eliminated already, and I just wanted to tell you that, and I really wanted to give you the reasons why it led up, etc., etc. He knew that his time was up. He was as bad as, both him and Ron were as bad as Naya. Right, Naya walked off ranting some shit, and so did they. You know, him and his no questions. Well, why not? You signed up for this. And then to say, you know, I'm a man of God, I'm ready to love, she's ready to love, but when I can see the enemy coming in, you know, I'm gonna get ahead of him. No, what you need to learn how to do is just be humble and take accountability. Hear what she had to say. You could have been able to express yourself and how you felt about the situation with the ex, you know, with Clarence. You could have expressed yourself and it would have been fine. But you also have to know how to do what? Receive criticism. Listen to what is being said, because it might help you in the future, in your future relationships, David. Like, you know, in the beginning, I was rooting for you, yo. I thought you had it together, but it was a facade. And what I want you to do, since you are a God-fearing man, is what I want you to do is to go back to your prayer closet and really seek God and hear his voice. And when he sends people your way to help you, to guide you, to tell you what to do to receive the healing that you need, receive it. Stop thinking you know everything and you got it under control, because, sir, you do not. I also, though, in the same breath, knew that Liz wanted to be able to say her piece and what was what and what was bothering her, what her red flags were for him. You know, and it was important, that whole safe space thing. We all need a safe space, and he was not providing that, and he knew it. And in my honest opinion, I don't think either of them communicated well in that moment. It became very combative. I want to talk. I'm gonna share a secret with you. If you say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna allow the other person to speak first, what happens is it doesn't show you as weak or caving in. It actually shows that you are the more mature and the more strong one. You have the more stability, mental stability and capacity and strength to deal with what the hell is being said. You both could have had an opportunity to say whatever you needed to say, but we know that David is fucking immature, and he probably would have said what he needed to say and walked off. Ain't no telling. We will never know, but I just feel like that whole thing could have gone a different way. So then we pan back over to Ron and Alexis. I don't want to call her Ashley today. Ron and Alexis, and baby, listen, that's all tumultuous too. Very much so a missing communication, very much so a breakdown in communication. And I feel like the foundation of any good relationship is being able to communicate authentically, genuinely, being yourself, sharing your thoughts and opinions without this type of interaction that is happening between the two of them. As she's beginning to give her spiel, remember last time about, you know, you are my number one. You've always been my number one because you chose me. He was offended. Like, yo, so the only reason I was your number one is because I was interested in you? You chose me? Like, I feel a way about that. I mean, listen, the way she talks, that's exactly why she chose him. I'm gonna just keep it a band. The way she talks, that's why she chose him, because he chose her. He was like, so were you looking for, it's like you were looking for validation. She's like, you know, I'm not looking for validation. It's like you saying that the only reason you wanted to date me was because I had something to offer you. Right? Because of what I can offer you. And listen, he was like, offer me? You can't offer me shit. That was the energy though. That's not what he said. That was definitely the energy. Like, offer me something. She could offer you something, right? You said that earlier about her decorum and leveling you up, etc., that kind of thing. And it was more than just fun. So she could offer you something, just like she did require validation. Both of y'all hit the nail on the head. Those are the things that the two of you were bringing to the table for the other. Anyway, she told him, you know, we sat down and the lady sat down and we thought about what's best for us, and what we've decided is that you are not ready to love. Do you understand me when he definitely like disregarded her in its entirety? I thought you were a little better than that. I thought you were smarter than that. Excuse me, sir? So you really trying to go here. You know, and you can see she got an attitude, but her response is very ladylike. Okay, like you can have that, whatever. Because I don't choose you, I'm not smarter than that. She was like, see, this is what I'm talking about, condescending. He tells her, you've been condescending the whole time. Listen, they butt heads like bulls lock horns, and nobody gives in. You know how hard that is in a relationship? They are definitely two different people. I didn't see them working from the beginning. Ron has always been very much so machismo, patriarchal, very toxic type masculine, right? So then, honey, feels a lot like retaliation, feels a lot like get back, like, oh, I ain't like you anyway. I was checking for somebody the whole time anyway, when he shared that he went out on a date with Amber, that they had been chit-chatting, and that he kissed her. And I was just like, that is very tit for tat, very messy. You know you starting some stuff, and I want y'all to hold on to that. You know you starting some stuff. And I want you to think about what she said in the last episode in the lounge or at Tommy's house, when she said, you know what, I don't want to make a decision right now. You know, I prayed about it. I think it might have been a confessional. The Holy Spirit, it said that I'm going to know when I need to know. When the time is right, I'm going to know. This is the time. This is what you need to know. How do we resolve conflict? How is he when he gets angry? This nigga takes jabs, like a hoe. Like, I don't know. His feelings were hurt, and that's what it was. Then Ron, as he answers the questions, talk about, you know what, being with her wasn't fun for me, and that's what I need to start working on. You know, I want to stick to what I know, and I want to have fun. So that's what it is. Like, he was trying something different with Alexis. Listen, these dudes are butt hurt, okay? They just like the women. This is Naya. Just in a different, my boyfriend is it's just a different thing. Very disrespectful is the undertone here. Well, okay, I spent a lot of time talking about that. Let's go on and talk about the gentleman's lounge, because 2 men have been eliminated. It is 4 men left. Tommy makes it plain and tells them, hey, yo, you see, it's only 4 of us left. We down to the nitty gritty, and we are going on a retreat to a ranch for the weekend. I got everything supplied, but here's the time for you to really get to know and delve in and dig in with these girls. You know how they say you don't know nobody till you live with them? Well, use this as a precursor. It's not good. It's not good. You know, weekends, you know, that stuff, you can't never really tell how people gonna be. I mean, it gives you a little glimpse, maybe if they messy or whatever, but it could, because it's vacation vibes. But you know what I'm saying? So you can't really use that as how people will act when you live with them. It is a whole different thing. Jason in his little diary cam says right off the top, this is gonna be uncomfortable because I like 2 women. Listen, you ain't the only one. AJ likes 2 women, okay? Kyra likes 2 men. All 3 of them are going to have some type of issue and have to deal with shit head on when they are all together. They're all together. Y'all know what that's from? I think I asked y'all that before. It's Pippi Longstocking. Listen, everybody starts to arrive. I believe Jason and AJ came first, but who cares about the order or how they came? Vernesha arrives, honey, and she says, you know what? I have not spent the night with Joelle yet, and I'm looking forward to that, honey. You ain't even kissed him yet from what we seen last episode. So don't move too fast, because listen, if the kiss ain't right, if the chemistry of the kiss doesn't flow right, then likely the chemistry in the adult mamba, no, the horizontal mamba won't be good either. That's just my thought. Like, kissing is huge to me. I tell y'all that all the time. It's so intimate. It's so important to me. Jason runs into Liz as he's coming in, and I love that he just takes her whole bag and brings the bag in. I like the little peplum jean jacket, jean outfit she got on. Super cute. Liz got cute clothes. Liz was like, let me show y'all I can dress. Like, what? Only thing is, you see him back to the space of lusting after her, which I was hoping had gone. Y'all had told me that it hadn't. But I mean, men are visual creatures first. And so, you know, I want to give him a pass for it, but do I really? Well, then Alexis arrives, and I'm all like, she's coming in hot. That ain't the song. I hear it in my head, but I don't have the beat right. I'm coming in hot. Forget it. Because she's all like, you know what, the conversations need to be had. Like, the energy she's coming with is setting the tone for her weekend and can potentially ruin other people's weekends, is how I'm looking at her right now. Number one, she wants to talk to Amber about Ron, and I'm all like, for what, girl? What? Just let that shit go. But we find out why in a little bit. And then she's all like, I called AJ and he wasn't available. You know, I wanted to talk to him. I needed somebody to talk to after the Ron situation, and he was not there. He ain't your man yet. You still dating. I know he told you, you know, some shit to make you feel good. I know he told you that he was into you. But listen. You see AJ and Kyra flirting. You see her, Amber say her objective is just to keep it real with her and KG, that things are going well and she wants to continue on that road. You see him like kind of looking cute. So they all, like the ladies and Joelle, are sitting around like a counter. I can't even remember who. Vernesha, Amber, I think Kyra was there, Liz. I want to say KG might have been there, but yeah, he was, because he was over there with Amber. So they were all around the table. Amber, I think, asked what was up or how you doing with KG. I mean, with Joelle. Somebody asked, and she was like, I'm secure. Oh, Kyra asked, I'm secure in my relationship with him. I know where I stand, right? And so Joelle says, I hear my name, and came over, and she was like, where are you at? Where are you secure at? Hold on, I wrote it down. Yeah, where are you secure at is what she said. And he says, with the strongest connection, which is you. And honey, Amber is here with the piping hot tea. She feel like Vernesha, my girl, or she your girl, my girl needs to know. And she says, wasn't Kyra your number one the other week? Because Ron had told her. See, now you know for sure that they've been himmy high and gossiping like two old hens together, okay? So, listen, the cat is out the bag, and it shifts the whole energy. Do you think it was Amber's place to share that? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. And I'm only asking based on what we see here on the show, right? Because I know that they go live and stuff, and people have interviews, etc., and they share stuff. But what I want to know to you is, in this moment, do you feel like it was appropriate for Amber to share with Vernesha that, you know, Kyra was his number one girl? What if it felt real messy to me, especially the delivery of it. Like, I could see if it was pulled away, but it was in front of the group. But I mean, she was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. So you see Joelle in his little diary cam like, yo, baby, like, I was supposed to tell her. Yeah, and I look like that was 2 weeks ago. And so if you were gonna tell her, you should have told her by now, and it would not have been a surprise to the group. So he was in the hot seat. You know, he shared the situation, said that they had an argument, and said that I did choose her as my number one. You know, he said, I see you're upset, and that's rightfully so. You know, Amber's all like, I should probably go now after she done dropped the bomb. Girl, now she wants to leave. She wants to be messy and leave. Child, listen, I didn't think Amber was messy. Hold on, let me keep them thoughts just for a little while. And then you see Joelle, he's really trying to justify his actions, what he said, and why he did not share her, because it's why he did not tell her. I really feel like it's not about what you said, but why you didn't share it with me. Why am I just now finding this out? Why do you have me looking stupid? Here I am telling everybody that Joelle is my number one, has always been, will be, the end. And you over here talking about Kyra? You know, and then he tries to say, you know what, it wasn't important. Why wasn't it important? That is very important. I mean, we learned through Kyra and Vernesha's lives that, you know, he was dating Kyra. Kyra was dating everybody, honey. That's why Kyra was number one. Kyra was making sure to make her rounds to see who best fit her. And so he was dating her. And so, you know, she was like, you gonna just, one disagreement, you gonna throw me away? Did you gonna throw what we have away just like that? One disagreement? And, you know, he was like, it was more than that. I don't know if y'all caught that. So it wasn't just a disagreement, because if you remember the episode 7, you remember it was when she had said she was territorial. Meaning, you know, what she meant was, when he's mine, I don't like sharing. I don't want to share my man, is what she said, but the words were misconstrued, followed behind the whole wedding thing. We knew she didn't want to get married right away. You know what I'm saying? Common sense told us that. But that was part of what his reasoning was at that moment. Which kind of says a lot about him. To me, again, are you really ready to love? If you have this connection with this woman, like you both have been saying all this time, and you're so easily to discard it, easily to choose someone else, right? So, I mean, that's the thing. That's a whole ass thing. And then, you know, he said, you know, she said, we've had more than one argument. I wrote a whole lot down, so this is long, I know. But, I was like, it's too soon for y'all to be having several arguments about nothing. Like, I mean, not being the number one, I guess, after being number one for so long, could feel feel away. Specifically, you not sharing it with me is, I think, where the problem, most of the problem lies. But I just feel like it's too soon for you guys to have had several disagreements. We've only known them 9 weeks now. They've only known each other 9 weeks, because we know that every week, right, they're meeting in these lounges every week. So 9 weeks, too soon to have had several arguments. What the fuck are you arguing about already? You should still be getting butterflies and smiling and hugging and want to kiss on me and shit. This should feel good. Everybody leaves because it is a very much so passionate argument. Passionate argument. And, you know, she gets up and walks away and nothing is resolved. You know, and I just feel like you have her having to get up and walk away was probably good, but, you know, just saying, you know, let's talk about this later. Let me process this and be what it is. So there, the ladies are outside, the Seagram's truck arrives, and Joelle walks up right behind her because he is connected to her. They do have a connection. He walks up to her and hugs on her because he wants to make it right? That's how I see it. And so, like, sometimes, ladies, I know we be mad, but sometimes we need to just relax in our femininity and let them have to deal with their shit, but express ourselves. But hold on. We see the ladies get together, and as they're sitting there talking, Kyra says, okay, so ladies, what are you hoping for this weekend? What are you looking to obtain or learn or whatever this weekend? And, you know, Vernesha was like, clarity. She needs the clarity now because I'm number 2. Like, these numbers, okay? Amber says, I want to build a deeper connection with KG. So right now, things for her are still very surface-like. Alexis says, you know what? A made-up mind. Because, you know, she needs people to choose her. And she needs the validation, just like Ron said. She needs to be affirmed. Let's not call it validation, because that seems so yucky. But affirmed. That's her love language. Affirmation, okay? Words of affirmation. So I need to know, I need to hear you say it. That I'm your number one. That you like me. That you're into me. And yes, I like this other person, etc. But I need to be affirmed, right? Kyra says, you know what? you know, I don't have a made up mind yet. So, you know, contrary, I don't have a made up mind. And Alexis says, you know what? And I just don't understand why you don't. Because she ain't throwing her eggs in one basket. And that's pretty much what she said. She explains it. I don't want to choose who chooses me. Alexis and Ron, remember, I don't want to choose who chooses me. I want to choose who I think will best compliment me. Who's a good fit for me. It ain't about just who chose me, because guess what? I need to choose you too. It ain't just about you choosing me, because I choose me all the time. I love me exponentially, but beyond anything anyone else can provide is pretty much what I hear. And so, though they chose me, that's great. But who is going to complement my life? Who is going to bring value to me? Who has more value and more worth to me? Anyway, child. So then you see the fellas on the inside, and Jason is talking about Kyra and pretty much saying that she flip-flops. Like, one minute she, you know, not really speaking highly of AJ, and the next minute, you know, I can see myself in a relationship. And then AJ says, you know what? She says it verbally, but she also needs to have accountability and to be proactive, right? So be accountable for what you say and how you feel, but then also be proactive on that. Go out and seek what it is that you want. Get what you want, or at least reciprocate the level of effort that the men are putting in for you. AJ talks about in his confessional how, you know what, I like Kyra, and I've really been trying to show her that I have changed, that I'm a different person. I'm pouring all of this into her, but I'm not necessarily getting anything back. She keeps choosing Jason, and you know, I really like Alexis, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be dealing with that. So now you see them going horseback riding. Who do you see? Liz, Kyra, Jason, and AJ. And there are two love triangles there. So, you know, Jason has a thing for Liz and for Kyra, and Kyra has a thing for Jason and for AJ. And during this time, listen, I just want to say that what I saw was that he was catering more to, Jason was catering more to Liz. And that could quite possibly be because AJ was there to cater to Kyra. I don't know. But if he wanted to interact with Kyra, he had opportunity. AJ talks about, you know what, I've been giving her the space to make the decision on her own. You know, and hopefully she appreciates that. Listen, I don't know how many of y'all have been dating more than one person, and one of them smothers the fuck out of you, and the other one gives you space and room to move and grow and do whatever it is you need. I don't know which one you gonna go for, but it's because I like my autonomy. I'm gonna go for the person that's gonna give me the space to move and grow and do the things I need. So we get back to the house, the ranch, and Joel is cooking. And he wants to fix his fuck up with Vernesha. So they have a little conversation in the kitchen, and I feel again how important communication is. Like, really try and listen with the other person's ears. Like, really try and understand what they are saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we only have in our mind how we think and what we feel, it's going to cloud our judgment about what the other person is trying to convey, right? That's how I feel. Anyway, because this is a shitstorm for me. The first thing I want to make mention of is if a man asks you what's up, what's going on, and you know that there's tension between you, please don't say nothing unless it's nothing. Because when it's something, it's important that you share and you figure out a way to articulate your feelings, your thoughts and ideas in a way that he understands, in a way that is not so heated. Like, so instead of saying nothing, if you're not ready to share, you just need to say, you know what, give me a little bit of time. I need to process how I'm feeling so that it does not come off angry, because it came off angry and she had every right to be angry. But that is not what we want to be, right? That, in my opinion, okay? Y'all can disagree with me, but you know where to do it. Down below in the comments. The fact of the matter is, I don't feel like anybody hears anything when there's so much emotion built up. You know, she tells him, you know, listen, because she ends up saying, he was like, don't give me that. And she was like, I was blindsided by that. Like, I wasn't expecting for somebody to tell me that you said if it was today, it would be Kyra. She was your number one. The thing that keeps getting me, he kept saying, in this moment, I was being truthful. In this moment, I was being truthful. He's not explaining to her why it was a true statement for him in that moment, why he was feeling the way, because if it was true in that moment, there was something that was occurring in their relationship that made him feel that way. And unless you address whatever that thing is, you're going to always want to choose someone else, because she's not going to know what it is that she needs to work on. You know, and when she's, you know, she kept saying, you know, how am I supposed to feel? I mean, you walked away, you want to walk away from one miscommunication. Now, previously he had said, you know, it was more than just that. It was a culmination of things, but I get what she's saying. That thing must have been the bigger thing that they had an argument about. And then, you know, he's trying, I don't know what he's trying to explain, but whatever he's explaining is not being explained. It's not giving what it's supposed to give, right? So she gets frustrated. He gets frustrated because she's at level high emotion. He's trying to talk. And y'all, listen, most men are not combative or not argumentative. They don't have the words to go back and forth with us in an argument. So I'm going to be honest with you. He probably stumbled over some of the things that he wanted to say, because she was like, like it was a barrage of how I feel. What am I supposed to think? And then, you know, he kind of like retreats, like, shit, I can't get a word in edgewise. It's a lot. Like, you know, I'm inferring, because I'm sure the conversation was longer than what we saw. And then she said, well, say what you gonna want to say, what you gotta say. By now, he's exhausted. They cannot go toe to toe with us. They cannot. And I know it feels like we won an argument or we got a one up, but does it if you walk away and nothing is resolved? I mean, the response was nothing. Like, oh, say what you gotta say. He was like, it's all right. She was like, okay then. You had the opportunity and you chose not to. Good. Or whatever. It was very toxic. It was very unhealthy. It was very not reading as someone who really wants something to work. And I get being heated and in your feelings and in your emotions. That's why it is so important to take a step back and process the shit you are feeling. Figure out why that is and convey that message in a calm manner. Nobody wants to be hollering and screaming and shit. Okay, I don't want to talk about that no more, but I'm going to have to talk about it one more time. Oh, there's one thing I have to say. One thing I forgot. He said that he was being truthful in the moment and it wasn't discrediting her. Y'all, what y'all think about that? Do you think him choosing Kyra discredited her or nah? Let me know down below in the comments, because for me, it did. If you've been saying that Vernesha's your baby all this time, and then, ooh, one day, all of a sudden, it's Kyra that you're choosing, that is a fucking discredit. That says that whatever we've built together has now dropped down. Which is fine, but on that shit. Because this is the process that we in, right? Like, I don't know, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments. I just think that was kind of chicken shit, talking about it didn't discredit Vernesha. It did. It did not her as a person, but the relationship, the connection that the two of them had. In Vernesha's little diary cam, she says, I only wanted him to be able to see my point of view and where I was coming from. I get it, girl. But can't nobody hear you when we be full of our passion. Because you like him. You like him. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. When we like someone and we feel, you know, slighted, belittled, betrayed, you know what I'm saying? You get a little passionate. Anyway, I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Sometimes I'm hella evolved and can walk away, and sometimes I'm all high at level intensity. Sometimes I get quiet and don't say nothing. That's probably the worst of anything. So Vernesha storms out and she goes and she talks to Amber and she talks to Chris. And you know, Amber said, well, what is a happy medium that you guys can find? And she said, there is no happy medium. The happy medium is to have a conversation and see where it stemmed from, and why would he choose Kyra? What about our disagreement or whatever it was sent him over the edge? Well, thank God for Chris, honey. Chris is very rational. Like, that's one thing that I like about him, is that he's very rational. And you see him always able to process whatever is going on. Even with the shit with Naya last year, he's able to process it with no issue. He goes in and he shares with Joelle in a manner that he can understand and tells him, you need to apologize because this lady is out. She wants you to understand how she feels. And you know, listen, Vernesha should be thanking Chris because Joel understands it, receives it. I mean, you know, he was like, and she has a reason. I mean, she is valid to feel how she feels, but understands that he needs to apologize for the action. That action had her looking stupid. Like, I'm pouring all my batter into you. Every time they asking, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that is the feeling. Like, every time they asking me, honey, all my batter goes into you. And you talking about somebody else, your number one? That's because she was only dating Joelle. She never dated nobody else. So then you see Liz and Jason, and they go walk over to the gazebo, and she talks about how romantic it is, and she keeps talking about how when she's with him, he makes her feel giddy. She says, like a kid. I feel like a kid, giddy. It's that, you know, that energy, you know, that electric energy that, you know, sometimes is good and indicates a connection, but sometimes it's just sexual energy that is flowing and that the relationship won't work well. So I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Jason says that he's at peace with her, that she brings him peace. I'm trying to get the little lines off my face. Jason says that she brings him peace, that he's at peace with her. You should have your own peace. But I guess he means like she's not causing any turmoil or nothing. So that's a thing. And then, you know, Liz thanks him for his, tells him that I appreciate you and the time that we spend, and thanks him for his consistency. Then he goes in for a kiss, honey, and this time the kiss didn't look as awkward. This time it looked like it was mutual and that they both enjoyed it. And then we find that Jason had told himself that he would not kiss Liz again until he had made a decision, because now his, you know, emotions are all everywhere. So they go back to the ranch, you know, and Jason tells Joelle, like, I'm feeling kind of mushy. So they bring the food in. Joelle's cooked. They bless the food. And I just said, you know, not just Vernesha, but this is all of us as women. We don't know how to just relax. We carry that energy with us because we don't process it right away, because we feel away. And that's the thing. It's okay. But if you see the man making an effort, please don't shun his effort. That helps a little bit with the light. Please don't shun his effort. Please don't make him feel, you know, like I ain't finna be bothered. Fortunately, she didn't let that last too long, because he's like, I want to be where you are. Where you going? I want to be where you are. You know, and she's like, no, you don't, because she mad. He lightens the mood with, you know, let me kiss your, you know, your, what do you call them lips? I can't remember. But pretty much black lips. What did he call them lips? Let me know down below in the comments if you remember. Nevertheless, we know that they have never even had a kiss, and this should not be the first time they kiss. He then goes on and apologizes to her and tells her, listen, you gotta let me get there. You gotta let me, you know, I wanted to apologize to you, but you wouldn't let me. You kept talking about what you was talking about. Your point needing to be heard. So I never got to a place where I could fully apologize to you. And she shared with him, you know what, I don't stay mad long. Sure don't look like it. Look like you would have held that grudge forever, child. But she also needs to be heard. And he says, I do too. That was pivotal for me. Especially the I do too. Because I know y'all thought I was crazy when I was talking a minute ago about how passionate she was. Sometimes we get so emotional and so passionate because we've got a point to get across that they can't get a word edgewise. I told y'all they don't know how to argue for the most part. Most of them do not know how to argue. Cannot find the words that we have to articulate what they're feeling when we're barraging them with shit, right? So Give them the opportunity. They're either going to share with you what you need to hear or hang them and tell you who they are. So we see Alexis and AJ sitting over there and they're eating. And she said, you know, where were you? I texted you. I called you. You know, pretty much I needed you and you weren't available. And he said, oh, I got the text very late. And what I said in my note was that she was very forward. So she asked him, how do you think our connection has been since our last date? Listen, he's like, I don't feel like being evaluated. I don't feel like having to go through that. Listen, this is not a therapy session. It's really kind of how he feels. He wants things to kind of flow naturally. But my thing is she's trying to figure out how he feels. But what she needs to do is share what she's feeling, right? She needs to share how she feels the date went or the conversations went, etc. Not just ask him, well, how do you think things have been going? Just share. I feel like that whatever we were building has decreased. I feel like, or I would like more communication with you. Like, it's easier to speak to how you feel versus expecting someone to get on board with you. Because for him, everything is fine. As he said a few moments later, you know, he has said, I don't want to move fast. Like, if we do that, we're going to put our foot on the gas and it's going to be really fast. But before he says that, he tells us that he feels like he's hashing out the same stuff over and over and over again. Nobody wants to keep doing that. Ladies, I mean, these are some things that we need to learn. Fellas can be learning some stuff too, but I only can speak from my perspective because what am I? A woman. What I know is that they don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. So you got to find a resolution to it and accept the resolution and move forward from it. Because they are having the same conversation over and over again. I wrote down again that she needs constant reassurance. I think he said it too. But through words of affirmation and deed and action. You know, and for her it's scary. She said it's scary for the inconsistencies. It just feels like you fell off and things aren't the same. You kissed me, it was magical, etc. But now, where are we? Here's something pivotal. He said, you're making everything to be an issue. You are making it difficult. You are making it difficult. I don't know, ladies, how many of you have had a man tell you that you were difficult? Let me know down below in the comments. By raise a hand. That you are difficult. And in your mind, you're like, shit, I'm not difficult. I'm just asking questions. For me, this moment said, oh, it was like a aha. When everything is an issue because you want it to be just so, the way you have it and the expectations that you have set in your head for this relationship, and it is not aligning with that, what happens? It becomes an issue and we keep bringing it up and we keep bringing it up and we keep bringing it up, and you become difficult in their eyes, when for us, we just want clarity and understanding. I have been dubbed difficult, and looking back at that, this is the reason why, wanting that extra clarity. But on that flip side, fellas, let me share with you how important it is to provide clarity so that we don't have to go back around and around in a circle and try and figure out what it is you want, what it is you try to say, what are we doing? Like, make it plain and we wouldn't be so difficult. So when he told her that, you know, we would accelerate, things would be moving too fast, if he had started with that, that would provide more clarity, and maybe she wouldn't have put her eggs in that basket to begin with. You know what? And I like that he was kind enough to tell her to relax and to breathe. Like, hold on. Then I guess they're going to talk about it a little later. He asked her if she was good, and she was like, yeah, but she told us she had an attitude. She should have been like, nah, I'm not really good. Like, being honest with them is just as important as being honest with yourself. Kyra's excited and like, let's play games, y'all. I'm hot. Let's play games. Let's play games. And I think it was Jason that yelled out truth or dare. Let's play truth or dare. I think this is a disaster waiting to happen when he says it. Like, And if truth or dare, in this situation where more than one person is dating somebody and you're all together, I think is sticky. Truth or dare is a hard game to play anyway, with friends or whomever. I mean, you might as well do dare all the time if you're not willing to tell the truth. AJ asked the first question to KG, asked him truth or dare. He chose dare. Rub Amber's feet for a minute and a half. She said she don't like her feet, and the reason why is because they wasn't done, okay? Then KG went to Vernesha. Truth. Is it true that you are going to leave Joelle alone? The answer, of course, was no. Kyra asked Joelle, and Joelle said a dare, and they said kiss Vernesha for 10 seconds. First it was 5, but make it 10 so that's awkward. It won't be awkward if it's good to you. And this is the first kiss, so I'm all like, They was like, move your head around, get some tongue action. Just this was their first kiss. So, you know, the pressure of the connection, and you know. Then Vernesha asked Jason, and Jason chose truth. Is it true that you're torn between Liz and Kyra? Yes. That was the question. That follow-up question, who are you feeling the most? He decided to take a shot. I would have been like, y'all didn't ask for two things, but he needed to be honest in that moment. Y'all know how we felt, I think, last year when, I can't remember who it was, but somebody did not choose like they should have when the moment had arisen. Was it last year or was it the year before? I can't remember. Nevertheless, Kyra was like, you know, it's a lot being said. I can see the shift, and if you've chosen someone else, then choose them and just let me know. Girl, you know you don't want him to choose somebody else. Amber asked AJ, are you torn between two people? He said yes, Kyra and Alexis, and she said, what are the qualities that you like them and why do you feel like you're torn? And he said that they both have similarities, and I'm now just trying to figure out do I go for what's familiar or what's new? And his answer I actually really liked. He didn't shy away from it, which is true. Kyra is very familiar. Alexis is new, and most people go back to what's familiar, which is not necessarily what's good for you. So Alexis feels like she received her validation in this moment. Kyra chose truth when Alexis asked, and she said, how do you feel about AJ? She said, I am attracted to him. He has characteristics of someone that I would want to be a partner with, except for, you know, we butt heads all the time. He's guarded, and there's some reluctancy with him. She was honest. The reluctancy is, when I knew you the first time, you was a playboy and broke. And now I'm not sure if you've moved forward from that, right? And I keep saying the same thing. When she chose to date him, she was supposed to accept whatever offer of olive branch and apology that he had, and then move forward, right? Wipe the slate clean and move forward. But that's not what she did, and so she's still harboring on that. Liz chose truth when Joelle asked, and he actually did the process. Everybody was like, whoo, because we all, you know, they all, including me, thought he was going to ask about David, but he didn't. He asked if the process had changed her or if she was the same baby. He said, no, she said, no, it changed me. It changed me, but I think it changed me for the better. And then Kyra said, well, I thought he was going to ask, but what happened when David left? And so she went into that whole thing about how it was combative. She went into that whole thing about how it was combative, and how he is self-eliminated. And she was like, when were you gonna tell me? You know, and they all laughed. But also at the same time, Vernesha had said, well, I want to know what happened with Ron. Things get really messy here. Alexis started off by saying it was the most disrespectful conversation that I have had in a long time. That speaks volumes. And you could see she was very emotional behind the conversation, behind about sharing what had just transpired the other day. She talked about how he told her, I thought you were smarter than that. She said, talked about how it was combative, how he was condescending. You remember all the stuff we seen. Then she said, he told me that he went out on a date with Amber, and everybody's face was like, oh, and Amber's face was like, oh, you know, it's two different, like, oh, like shock, and oh, like, oh shit. That's how Amber's face was, like, oh shit, like they were supposed to be sneaky links. And then he said, oh, by the way, I kissed her. Amber's mouthed, what the fuck? And then was like, she couldn't have called me? And then we find out what the tea really is. Like, we all thought Amber was sweet and kind and that she was mature and had her shit together. Honey, Alexis and Amber, honey, were friends. They're friends on the show. They talk on the phone. She shares everything about how she's feeling. Specifically, you know, when it came to Ron. Honey, it went as far as for Amber was praying with her. And now, you know, rightfully fucking so, Alexis feels betrayed and like Amber is a Judas. Like, you only were using me for your intel? Because we see that they on the phone kikiing and ha-haing, gossiping. We see that. I can't wait to see what she got to say next episode. Chris said, oh yeah, we need to talk about this too. Because we're all shocked. But maybe they had been dating all along. I don't think so if you were talking to Alexis about it. Y'all, let me know down below in the comments. I was not expecting that to be what it was. Like, I was not expecting Amber to be a snake, to pretend to be a friend. And this is also, this like feeds into Alexis's insecurities about being chosen. Okay, y'all let me know down below in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching my review of Ready to Love Season 4. I didn't even say that at the beginning. Episode number 9, Secrets and Betrayal. Listen, if it's your first time visiting my channel, click that subscribe button and become a ray of sunshine. Right next to it is the notification bell. Click it so you're alerted of when I finally fucking upload these videos. And if you missed it last month, the Ray of Wisdom Sync Up. Shame on you. We had a great time. It's up now for June 18th. And now I'm all like, oh, I couldn't remember what the question was this month. What were we talking about? Dating expectations. Falls right in line with this shit. Dating expectations. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up because you like me and I'll know it's real. Share it with your friends because we got a few more episodes, maybe 2 episodes left, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 2 and reunion. But we got some left and they are welcome to join in the conversation. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.